Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. This is Anthony. Welcome to tonight's Bible quiz on quizzes. So, today we're going to be having our quiz with just only two, since I'm doing it at this time of the day, with this time of the EST day. We are starting of at we are starting this on 7:30 in the evening here. We are starting off on the seminar first. Going to do a little study before, do a little back story before the quiz. And for those of you who can join the quiz, the links are in the video description. I'll send the link on the chat box if you want to join, or if you're in quizzes, the join code is in the chat box. So please, if those of you who want to join, I'm sending the link onto the chat box and the join code also on the chat box. So for those of you who are already on the joined, please enter this code or enter the link which you see on the uh, on the screen, or you can see on the chat box. That's why I specifically chose 7 in the evening. So we only have two attendees waiting. We have Natasha and Georgiana Daniels. Thank you, girls, for attending this quiz. We are starting this quiz though. For now, we're going to be starting off this quiz with a little test, but for now, we'll be waiting for some attendees to come into the quiz. Just please, if you want, you can join in by the link in the chat box or type this join code 056303. But first, let me get a little backstory of this quiz. The quiz I'm going to be taking on today is part of Daniel's prophecy in Daniel chapter 2. And in my next quiz, we're going to be stating about the four beasts in Daniel chapter 7 or 8. So we should know that these prophecies can be a bit suspicious, but the prophecies are true. And we should all know that the prophecies of Daniel are past fulfilled, starting with Babylon, then to think first from Babylon, Medo Persia, Greece, Rome, and then Papal Rome and present day. Now, do take note here. We are to start off with a little kick off of our study before we can into into do a little backstory before we can actually have the quiz. We only have two who are attending. So we sh- we are a little back story before we can do this. think that right, kind of idea. Uh, so while we are waiting for the presentation, uh, okay, have two members in. So like I said, you can join the quiz on the link which is shown on the chat box, or join with a code which is on the chat. Okay, now here's the little backstory of the quiz that tastes here. Okay, now let me just share my screen. Okay, then okay. So in this, we're going to review Daniel 2. Daniel 2 is the subject of our quiz here. Daniel 2 here is the subject of our quiz. I hope you learned this well. So Daniel chapter 2 verse 1 to 11 is these factors. Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams. So you may have some good dreams or bad dreams though, but the dreams here can be revealing the future events that will come through God's intervention. We can assume, though, that Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream of prophecy and of fulfillment. Second is the spirit of Nebuchadnezzar is troubled to know the dream. He is troubled, or should I say in Mabisayan, nabalaka. He is troubled to know the dream. Next is demands dream and explanation. And the magicians, the astrologers, the wise men said only the gods, which means the gods of Babylon, can reveal it. And there's consequence and reward. That's really the one. And we could read further from Daniel chapter 2, verse 12 to 25. Destroy, he has the plot here. The plot is to destroy all the wise men. And Daniel talks with Arioch, and then Daniel prays for God's mercy. Then Daniel acknowledges God and does not destroy the wise men. Now, here is the imagery. So, when we say these factors, you may know already, these factors are of prophecy and the prophecy of what is now to fulfill. No? The dream here is to let know us to be ready at the time. We are waiting waiting for what prophecy will unfold. So for this is going to go back to this imagery. Daniel told the king this dream. The head of the statue, even already, is of gold. The chest and arms are of silver. The thighs of bronze, legs of iron, the feet and toes of clay. And there's the stone cut off without hands. Now you may know this already. The first one, which is the head of gold, is Babylon. Second is the inferior kingdom, which is the silver kingdom of Medo Persia. The third kingdom is the kingdom of Greece, the kingdom that will rule over the whole earth, which means not the modern world, but just conquering the parts of ancient Europe, or what is now modern Europe. The fourth, the kingdom that will break and crush, mixed strong and broken, which means Rome. No, Rome. Rome here. Now, tell me this. Rome here has been the iron monarchy. The stone here is Christ's everlasting kingdom. So, among all these things, there are Akkadian writings on stone that says, I am Nebuchadnezzar, king of the world. That was even before the Caesars ruled the world. No? That was even before the Caesars ruled the world, no? Which is why in the case here we are almost sounds like, or should I say, we should know that in these Akkadian writings, it says that Nebuchadnezzar is the king of the world. So when we say Nebuchadnezzar is king, I meant before the Roman Caesars. Like I said, before the Roman Caesars even came into power before, Babylon was first. And speaking of Babylon, if I tell you, we're still in sure on why Nebuchadnezzar, king of the world, is inscripted in Akkadian in these rocks. Akkadian here is actually the language used by those who living next to the Indus Valley, or should I say the Indian Valley. And here's the continuation. King's reaction to Daniel to God, and here's the king's reward and Daniel's request that is already fulfilled. Now here are the kingdoms of Daniel 2. Babylon, Daniel chapter 2, verse 38. That is the head of gold. The chest and arms of silver, chest and arms of silver, that is Medo Persia. The belly and thighs of bronze, that is Greece. Rome, modern Europe, and an everlasting kingdom, that is Christ's kingdom at the end of time. So here is the map when it comes to the rise of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. There is Urartu, there's the Median Empire, and there's Egypt. There's also the Red Sea here, and here is Tema, Duma, and here's the places of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. After King Nebuchadnezzar had taken captive the people of Jerusalem, some of them are killed, they walked them over to Megiddo, Tyre, and Gebal, also known as Byblos, Arvad, Riblah, Hamath, then Aram, Aleppo, Rezeph, then over the Euphrates River, then to Sippar, then Cutha, and there's the capital, Babylon. There's Susa, Larsa, and Ur. Have you remembered Ur? Ur is actually the place where Abraham had had actually had had at least yeah. Let me talk this over. Abraham left Ur and went to Canaan. Am I right? Now here is the Persian Empire. There is Thrace, known as Samothrace. There is Sardis, Miletus, Xanthus, Iconium, Derbe, Tarsus, Euphrates. There's Cappadocia. They marched until they reached Haran, then Arbela, Yushuna, Dur, Babylon, Uruk, Susa, Gabe, also known as Isfahan, Shushan, Persepolis, and Pasargadae. And there's Sagartia, there's Kerman, Pura, Makkah, and there's India, the Indus, the Taxidania, and there's the Hazartes. And next up, we have the map of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great has conquered more land than what we have expected from. We have here that we have Thrace, then Pella, Thermopylae, Godium, Asia Minor, Egypt, then they conquered Damascus, Emesa, Aleppo, Ephesus, Isis, Antioch, Nisbis, Gaugamela, Arbela, Ecbatana, Seleucia, Babylon, Susa, Sharax, Gabe, Rage, Pasargadi, Persepolis, Harmuzia, Artakuna, Bactra, Maracanda, Kabura, Masaga, Taxil, and Bucopolia, and conquered some of the Indus Valley. There's Padua, also known as Patra. Then here is the Roman Empire, under control at the time of Julius Caesar's death, and there in 100 BC and more. We have Britannia, that is England, Duniensis, Belgica, Raetia, Noricum, Pannonia, Gallia, Venetia, Alpes, Narbonensis, Aquitania, Tarraconensis, Galatia, Lusitania, Bactria, Mauritania, Numidia, Africa, Proconsularis, Cyrenaica, Alexandria, then there's Pelitium, Judea, Phoenicia, Syria, Cilicia, Parthia, Armenia, Commagene, Cappadocia, Galatia, Bithynia. Then there's Lycaonia, Lycia, Pamphylia, and there's Pergamum. There's Macedonia, Achaia, Creta, Thracia, Mysia, Dacia. That's all the places conquered by, you guessed it, the Roman Empire. Hmm? So the kingdoms here are described as follows: Babylon, Medo Persia, Greece, Rome, and there's Europe and Christ's everlasting kingdom. So the questions may be none. So here's, yeah, told captives in the house of Israel, and maybe the rise of the British and of the Jews, compared to by this statue. And that brings us an end to the presentation. Thank you all so much. Why should we start the quiz with just two? Okay, we should start now the quiz since it's taking way too long. Taking way too long. Nato dera. Now I'm waiting for Georgiana and Natasha to answer the quiz questions I have described. Okay. Wow, this is going to be a tough competition. So here are the questions. I'll be assigning this quiz and send me your answers via Gmail. Just see which answer. Oh, hello, Sketchy. Sorry you didn't even come in on the quiz. This is actually our Bible quiz. But don't worry, I will send you the link to accomplish your quiz, though. So only two of those who managed to join the quiz are the ones who were to go first. I'm sorry, talaga, Sketchy. I'm sorry. but I will send the link on my community tab to do the quiz. Georgiana and Natasha are still waiting though. Still unwavering. We'll we still have a long time to answer. Well, nine two four six. Well, the quiz is surely getting way too late. I'll be waiting for a few minutes. And Okay, everyone, time's up. Sorry, everyone. Because of the time restrictions that I have from my schedule, I cannot do another live stream of this quiz again, but I will send the link onto my community tab so that you can get the quiz done. I will reveal the results on the community tab so that you may know the result is real and you will not argue with overspilled results. So maraming salamat po and goodbye.